Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the WWE, the PG era rebooked. I decided that's what I'm going to mainly call the series from now on, because it's just kind of a pain in the ass to say, the new era, the 2012 era, all that kind of stuff. But, we're in the midst of the PG era. Maybe it's not really too PG. I've said fucking shit a lot. But, regardless, that's kind of what I'm just going to call it. But we have Superstars, in the aftermath of Night of Champions. And we have the Second City Selfies are cutting a promo. When by Second City Selfies, it's mostly Colt Cabana cutting a promo, while Tyler Breeze takes selfies in the background, with Colt saying he heard, Sabin and Shelley, how they're challenging 3 other tag teams to a match at Cyber Sunday. He went up to management, and because of all the various victories they've been getting on Superstars and SmackDown alike, that Colt Cabana and Tyler Breeze, the match that's next is going to be their shot to get in that fatal 4-way at Cyber Sunday. And we're going to have that. And they're going up against the West Virginian Canadian Connection, the team of Jinder Mahal and Heath Slater. And that match does a 68 C+. Pretty good. Pretty decent, match for us, considering how far pretty much everybody in this match has come. The Second City Selfies, though, they actually win when Colt Cabana hits the Chicago Crab on Jinder Mahal. I really got to change that, or else we'll keep mentioning that, and everyone will be driven nuts. But yeah, the Second City Selfies are going to be now in that match. So it's the world's greatest tag team, the Motor City Machines, and now the Second City Selfies. And there's one more team to be added in that fatal 4-way, and we'll have to see how that goes. Next up, we have a little angle segment here with Madison Rayne. She's walking around backstage when she finds the Bellas. They talk a little bit about AJ Lee's, her open challenge that she's going to be having, for the Divas title at Cyber Sunday. And I'll explain how that works and what's going on with that later on. But she mainly asked the Bellas, what the hell's with that goth chick kidnapping cheerleader Melissa? And the Bellas are distraught. They have no idea where she's at. They have no idea why cheerleader Melissa has been kidnapped. But now that they know that someone's done it, it's... They're looking for her, they just don't know really what to do. The Photoshop is in jeopardy. Their little gimmick stable there. Next up, we see a small video package. It's Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler is just kind of punching the wall, just with taped fists in a bad way. Dolph Ziggler is not looking too good. His hair is disheveled. He looks he's not crazy. He isn't broken. He's not Matt Hardy. But he's definitely pissed off. And for good reason, considering, how he was unable to beat John Cena for the World Heavyweight Championship for another consecutive time. Although Drew McIntyre was there as well, so you could put the blame on him. But, that's not what we're going to be doing here. And you got to wonder, Shawn Michaels pretty much was right. Shawn Michaels was proven right, where he said... Mr. McMahon and the WWE office, they don't want John Cena as the World Heavyweight Champion because he's been on an absolute tear. He's been just screwing with things. He's, a bad PR at this point, genuinely bad, non-kayfabe PR. And they went up to Dolph Ziggler and pretty much told him he sucks. So why would he have the motivation to win the belt? So, was that just McMahon's being stupid, or was there something into that, We're building up that storyline, brother. We'll have to see where that goes. And then we have our main event match of the evening, in which Sin Cara takes on Alberto Del Rio. Sin Cara, in 20 minutes, managing to get a quick cradle on Alberto, and sends Alberto packing. So Sin Cara with a pretty decent, upset win here on Superstars, but it's on Superstars, so no one will know that it happened. And then finally, because I had to keep, WWE in check, I got to keep that WWE style going on, especially what they've been doing. Mr. McMahon and company, they announced that there's going to be an announcement on SmackDown. So they didn't say the announcement, they just announced that there's going to be a big announcement for SmackDown. I'm going to be changing the schedule of Superstars, so it's going to be taking, before SmackDown. It actually takes before SmackDown, instead of just, the same day it's shot. So, to actually give it credit. But for the now, there's your announcement. It's an announcement. So we get an 85B+. Tyler Breeze is used too much in the show, and I give a shit. But we'll see you for the real main event, which is SmackDown. Alright, so we're finally here with SmackDown, and we have a pre-show match, a dark match. We have Alexander Rusev taking on one half of Ryder and Rave and Terry Rave, and Alexander Rusev just destroys Terry Rave in 5 minutes and submits him with the accolade. And then we have the big announcement is coming up to open the show of SmackDown, and we have Mr. McMahon, Triple H, the COO, Stephanie, whatever. I forget what her position is, if it's even a shoot or not, and the various boards of WWE management, basically road agents, and we just pay some actors to be generic businessmen and women. They all come out to the stage following them. They all get inside the ring, and Mr. McMahon, he's got a podium. He starts talking about pretty much all the things John Cena has done in and out of the ring. Like, John Cena, he retired Christian and injured him to the point where they had to pay him compensation, and his career's definitely over. He's definitely not the TNA heavyweight champion right now. Surely not, definitely not. He talks about how all those Make-A-Wish things, he was one of the most biggest Make-A-Wish things ever. John Cena has stopped doing that. We're bringing some shoot shit in here, brother. John Cena, he attacks people outside of the ring, and every time he does that, he's breaking rules of society that WWE has to pay for. They can't just fire or suspend him because he's the World Heavyweight Champion. And even if they did suspend him for, 30 days? All you're doing is suspending him from the company. If he's willing to do this stuff outside of it, imagine what he does when he can't actually go to the company. And he talks about all this, and he says, therefore, and all of a sudden Shawn Michaels comes in, and he says, oh, no, you're not doing what you did to Austin on Monday. Shawn Michaels knows what they're doing. He says, you're not just making a random match for John Cena that you want. He goes, no, this is my show. I'm the GM. I have authority. This is my show. John Cena is my problem. I'm going to handle the John Cena problem right now. And he says, he heard what the Motor City Machines had said, and he liked that idea, so we're going to have a Fatal 4-Way. A Triple Threat couldn't do it. We're going for a Fatal 4-Way at Cyber Sunday. And he says, if you don't like that, then everyone in their management can just fire Shawn Michaels right now, because he's not going to relent. And Mr. McMahon, he looks to Triple H, and he looks to Stephanie, and he says, we can work with that. That's all he says as they leave, and Shawn is confused on the ramp. I expected more resistance out of that. So we have a Fatal 4-Way for John Cena's World Heavyweight Championship at Cyber Sunday. Next, we have a brief opener. We come back. We're going to see Nick Jackson. If you remember, Nick Jackson of the Young Bucks won Tough Enough, so he's getting a title shot. He chose the NXT title, so it's going to be Nick Jackson taking on Xavier Woods for that NXT title. Let's see, maybe if Nick Jackson wins, he pretty much deserves a spot on the main roster. And even if he doesn't, it's still good to see, someone like that get in a position like that. So, let's see how the match goes. No, we don't need any pre-booking. And in a match that did really better than I thought was off. It takes 17 minutes. He is no slouch, Nick Jackson, but Xavier Woods manages to put, Nick away with the culture shock. But during the match, Matt is at ringside, so obviously that's distracting, Xavier a little bit. And at the same time, Damien Sandow rushes in. Damien Sandow obviously disappointed and still angry that he wasn't able to capture the NXT title himself. Runs in and attacks Xavier Woods, but it's not enough. And Xavier Woods manages to make defense number 5 of the NXT title. And Xavier Woods has been a pretty, good champion. He's had the belt since, before Mania. So, you gotta, when you look at that, you gotta say, that's a pretty good run there we have from Xavier Woods. And Nick Jackson getting a 49. Any improvements? Xavier Woods actually learned stuff from Nick Jackson. 49. Not bad for an enhancement talent like Nick Jackson, as he is rated on. So, what more can you say? But, it's good to see, the Young Bucks get on there. Maybe someday in the save they'll come out. But for now, Nick Jackson has to go back to FCW, where he belongs, you mark. And we bring the fans, we cool down the match between Nikki Bella and Katie Lee. And Katie Lee and Nikki Bella are going at it. When all of a sudden, boom, we have what's it called? Astrid doing the lights go off, lights come back on. Astrid's in the ring, just clobbers Nikki Bella. Lights go back off, lights go back on, nowhere to be found. Katie Lee doesn't even know what happened, hits a catatonic, and 1, 2, 3, 14, 16 has beaten Nikki Bella. And we cut to the post-show segment where we have Astrid comes on the Titantron now, and she's just laughing the fact that, you know, Nikki got beat, and she's taunting them. We see in the background a bound cheerleader, Melissa. Oksana's there too because she's basically like the managing figure. Like, not a literal manager of the Photoshop, but I'm always too lazy to put her as a manager. You know, they're all watching that horrified. Trish Stratus runs out with a microphone. She's yelling at the Titantron, trying to get some answers, but no answers are given. Titantron just goes off, and we still don't know what's going on, the situation with, you know, with Astrid and all of that nonsense. Next, we have a segment. This is actually wrong. This is supposed to be Ted DiBiase. So basically, tonight's main event is going to be who gets that first slot in that big old Fatal 4-Way against John Cena. We're seeing Sheamus take on Ted DiBiase. You know, woo. Let's see. No. Next we have, holy shit. We have the Motor City Machine Guns take on Gabriel and Sin Cara in a non-title match. Gabriel and Sin Cara take the Motor City Machines to Limit in a 97 A-star match on fucking SmackDown. I'm highlighting that. I'm screenshotting that. That deserves a screenshot just because how awesome that is. God, Sabin and Shelly are the shit. I love the Motor City Machines. But eventually they hit Sin Cara with the Made in Detroit. And yeah, they pick up a good win, a good win for them. And Gabriel and Sin Cara look good even in defeat because they went 17 minutes with the champions and they got one of the best matches that's going to be on this card. So there's nothing to shake a stick at there. And finally, we have Ted DiBiase cutting a promo. He's walking back and forth. He's pacing backstage, and he has a mic in his hand. He looks into the camera, and he says, "It's my time now. You know, I lost to Ryback at Night of Champions. That was my fault. You know, I underestimated Ryback. You know, I wanted the Intercontinental Champion, but now that I've been given this opportunity, I'm not going to waste it. John Cena's running around here. Everyone wants to get a shot at John Cena, but everyone's too scared of John Cena to do anything about it. He goes, I'm not. He goes, he's going to go through Sheamus, and he's going to go right through John Cena at the pay-per-view at Cyber Sunday, and 2 other men to become World Heavyweight Champion to fulfill his destiny. And you can believe that that's going to happen. It's his time now, as Ted would say. And we have that match, and in a good match, Ted DiBiase makes good on his promise and defeats Sheamus with a Dream Street because Kevin Nash had to interfere again. Kevin Nash has just been making Sheamus' life a living hell. Sheamus is making Kevin Nash's life a living hell. And it kind of came back to haunt Sheamus. You know, Sheamus, this would have been a great opportunity. Because if you're in the match, like this match, a Fatal 4-Way, and you're Money in the Bank, let's say John Cena wins, Ted wins, or the other guy wins, and you don't win. You still have the Money in the Bank briefcase. Boom, knock him out. 1, 2, 3, you win. But Sheamus, he was not able to capitalize on it. And therefore, he, you know, and plus, you know, he let Kevin Nash, you know, distract him. He let him interfere in the match. And we get payback for that as Kevin Nash and Sheamus start brawling on the outside. They brawl all the way to the back, and that SmackDown ends. Basically, it's mostly Sheamus putting the boots to Kevin. Kevin tries his best, but he's pretty much kind of running away from there with Sheamus, you know. But you'd run from Sheamus if you've just pissed him off, I would assume, the viewer at home. And that's how we end SmackDown, so let's see how we did. 92A, Nick Jackson was used too much. Figured I'd get that one. But overall, pretty good SmackDown. I like this one. You know, you had the amazing tag title match. You had Xavier Woods defeat Nick Jackson. And we had Ted DiBiase slotted in as the first competitor in that Fatal 4-Way match. For Cyber Sunday, they are going to be stipulations, and they are going to be... I got to find a way to have, like, a polling thing done. But once I figure that out, I'll have that up. I'm going to be on vacation for a bit. So what I think I might do is... have the polls go up, and by the time I come back, record Cyber Sunday, and and we'll know fully well how that goes down. I won't start the polling until after, like, I record that episode, like, what's it called? The episode is uploaded. But, it'll still be enough time. But now I'm just kind of ranting to myself. I'll see you guys later for the next episode of Monday Night Raw.